Hey folks, Jen or Mergriffin here today, taking a look at the CE3 Smokeymisers. I got mine from Bruce at cloudsofvapor.com. I've had these for a few weeks. I've had 3 packs of them. After the initial week, I really wanted to put out a negative review. So I took the time to play with a few more of them, talk to some other people who were using them before I felt like I could actually do a decent review. So let's go ahead and take a look at the details on the CE3s. So in your box of CE3 Smokeymisers, which come in 3 different ohm ratings, 2124, 2427, 2729, and I have one of each set, you get a single drip tip. Now, you can use any of your own drip tips, they'll all fit, but it comes with one. You get a tweezers, we'll get to that in a minute, and a syringe top, for which you also need to provide the syringe, and then 5 individually wrapped cartomizers. The box also has an instruction card that requires camera zoom or a magnifying glass. So let's just toss that. Let's go ahead and open up one of them here. And as you can see, well, it's hard to see through the smokiness, but the coil is on the bottom in that little area there. Underneath, there's like a separate closed off area that has the coil inside. And then from that area up, there is one bit of wicking material. Hard to see when there's juice in it because it becomes saturated and kind of clear. So the first thing we need to do is take this black mouthpiece out. Now you can use them with those in there. I kind of take them out and use either the drip tip that they give you or the ones that come with it, or ones that I have myself. Next thing we need to do is there's the air hole and then the plug for filling. So we need to get tweezers, get that little plug out of there. Be very careful how you grip it and lay it down where you're not going to sneeze on it or it will be gone. Then we need to we have those air hole and then the filling hole. So we need to get our syringe with some juice. It says hold it at a 45-degree angle and it takes about 1.8 mil. I sometimes do a little less because you're not quite sure if it's going to leak yet or not. But I go pretty close up to the mouthpiece and then kind of stop just below that thicker area on the mouthpiece itself. Then you need to get that, whoops, there she goes shooting along. You need to get that tiny little black plug gripped and back in that little hole. If you don't grab them right with the tweezers, they will go flying. Once you have that sealed up, you can put the drip tip of your choice on the top there. Now I usually run them. You can see how the wicking material is getting saturated. And that actually does draw down pretty well. You'll see air bubbles come up from there as you use it, as the juice goes down in. I usually rub it on my finger to see if this is one that's leaking or not. And this one seems to be pretty safe. As you can see, I've had quite a few of these in rotation. These are the ones that have been working fairly well and not leaking. So those are the CE3 details. If you can get them working, they work pretty well. I've got like 3 of them going now in all of the assorted available ohm meterings that they have. There's 3 different sets ranging from lower to like 3 point something. The first 3 point something one I put on a mod tasted burnt and wouldn't wick. I've had 4 or 5 of them out of 15 just leak like crazy for no reason I could understand. I've since then tried filling them, you know, only a certain distance, not up to that thicker part of the air hole. Some I filled all the way. There didn't seem to be much rhyme or reason to why they were leaking. It seemed like a quality control issue. Like not all of them met the same quality control standards. Some worked fine, others just leaked. And it just depended on the actual cartomizer itself whether it was going to do that. When they work great. They have great flavor because there's no other taste in the way. They actually do wick fairly well. I can chain vape and if the voltage is not really high, they're fine. So I mean, for that reason, like I like them. perfect flavor. I actually got a bunch of juices in that I was testing them on. Really clean on all different kinds of mods, variable voltage, regular, 3.7. Now, other than so they work. If you can make them work, they work great. Two huge downsides that make them not for me. Now, your mileage may vary. They only hold 1.8 mil of liquid. You can't refill them without a tweezers, and frankly for me, a magnifying glass to find that little black plug, and a syringe. So I basically have all these little syringes around with my juice in them. So I'll fill it so far, and then I'll vape them for a while, and then I'll just leave the juice in here because I'm gonna have to fill it again in a little bit. That's a pain in the butt. Not to mention, if you don't grab that little plug with the tweezers just right and you pinch it instead, you'll never see it again. The box really ought to come with like 4 or 5 spare plugs because they'll be gone. So for me, while they work fairly well, you know, they may even have better flavor than a dual coil cartomizer. It's just so much easier for me to use a dual coil cartomizer. I can get the top part off with my fingers. If I use a drip tip on it, I don't have to get the top at all. And all I need to bring with me in order to refill it is the bottle of juice. And then I can just drip on the top, give it a little shake, and that's it. I don't have to worry about syringes and plugs and tweezers. And so I think on that note, they've made them harder to use than G4s or CE2s, which you could actually clean. You also can't clean these. I probably won't be getting any more of them. Sorry, but that's my take on CE3s.